Hey guys, Lisa with Our Weekend Homestead. So for the past 5 months, we have been planting, and caring for our tomato plants, hoping that we would get to about 150 pounds of tomatoes. It looks like we are well on our way to exceed that goal. And now we have tomatoes in the house on the counter in all different stages of ripening. And it's super important to have a plan for what you're gonna do with all these tomatoes as they're coming in. So stick around and we're gonna show you our favorite ways to preserve your tomato harvest. Harvesting tomatoes for us starts in mid-June and goes through August. We grow an indeterminate tomato, so our tomatoes don't all come ripe at the same time. We like to pick the tomatoes early in the morning when they have the best flavor, and sometimes we'll even pick them when they're a little bit orange to save them from the pests and the rodents, and we'll let them ripen in the house on the counter until we're ready to use them. Tomato sauce is one of our favorite ways to preserve our tomatoes. It's also very easy to do. You just simply chop up your tomatoes, run them skins and seeds and all through your food mill, saute some onions and garlic, and add that all together into a pot, and you're gonna simmer it down until it reduces by half. Reducing the sauce down will take several hours, but once it's ready, you're going to want to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice to each pint-sized jar. Then you're going to ladle in the hot sauce. You want to make sure to leave a 1/2-inch headspace on each jar. Add the lid and the band and get them ready to put into your water bath canner. Once the water starts boiling, you'll want to set your timer for 35 minutes. You may have to adjust that time for your altitude. It's that easy, and this delicious sauce can be used on pasta, baked dishes, and even as a pizza sauce. Crushed tomatoes are a pantry staple that I believe you can never have too many of. This recipe does take a few extra steps because you will need to remove the skins from the tomatoes. The next step, you'll be cutting off any of the bad areas and removing the cores and the seeds. So this will take you a few extra minutes. Add about 2 cups of the tomatoes to your stock pot and smash them down with a potato masher to release the juices. Then add all the rest of the tomatoes and bring them to a boil for about 5 minutes. Now you're ready to start filling your jars. Be sure and remember to add your lemon juice, and if you want to add salt, you can do that at this time. For this recipe, I'll be using the pressure canner, so I'm going to leave 1 inch of headspace per jar, remove any of the air bubbles, wipe down the rims, and add my lids and rings. Follow the instructions that came with your pressure canner for the correct processing times. You can also consult with the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving for more information. So the process that I'm going to be doing right now is going to be diced tomatoes. And I find that when you use the larger San Marzano Lungo tomatoes, it's a paste tomato, but the larger ones I find work best when you want to do either whole or diced tomatoes that you're canning. They stay together a little bit firmer and they just work a lot better. So today I'm going to be using the largest ones that we have, and I'm going to go ahead and get those ready to can. Growing up, we always had a garden at our family home, and my mom was so good at gardening and canning, and she showed me this really neat trick with tomatoes and how to get the skins off. I have to admit, when I first started canning tomatoes, I was peeling whole tomatoes fresh, and it was so hard, and I thought, gosh, there's got to be a better way. And I mentioned it to my mom, and she was like, oh my gosh, this is how you do that. So she showed me how to get the skins off with this cool little trick. So first you take the tomato and you're gonna just cut an X in the bottom. Just a simple little X. And then you take the tomato and you put it into a pan of boiling water just for about 30 seconds. And you'll see the skin to start peeling a little bit, and you pull it out immediately and put it into a bowl of ice water. And then just let it sit there for just probably about 30 more seconds, and then you can take it up and start peeling the skins off super easy. So now that we got all of our tomatoes peeled, we're gonna go ahead and start dicing them. These tomatoes come in handy for all sorts of different recipes. And if you're anything like us, you're gonna wish you had canned up more. I have found that the preparation is what's most time consuming. I also have found a few kitchen tools that have made my life a whole lot easier. I'll have links to those in the details below. This recipe that I'm putting together is for spicy barbecue sauce. And we got the tomatoes through the food mill and all the rest of the vegetables chopped up. Now we're gonna get them in the pot and put them on the stove and bring them to a gentle boil for about 30 minutes. Here's a fun fact. This food processor was a wedding gift to David and I 28 years ago. Now it's time to add the vinegar, the garlic, and all the dry ingredients to our pot and bring it to a boil. So it's the next morning and our barbecue sauce is all finished up. We ended up with just shy of 4 pints. It tasted amazing. We can't wait to try it out on some barbecue. But right now we're gonna go ahead and get these jars into the pantry. So our tomato harvesting season is coming to an end. We ended up processing a few different items that you'll see here. And all in all, we got about 89 jars, which was about 140 pounds of tomatoes. We have probably about 20 or so more pounds of tomatoes out on the plants that we'll process at a later date. We hope you enjoyed our favorite ways of processing tomatoes, but we'd love to hear about your favorite tomato processing ways, and you can leave us a comment in the details below. If you enjoy our videos, we'd sure love a thumbs up. We enjoy putting these videos together, and if you want to support our channel, the best way you can do that is by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. It's been a long tomato harvesting season, but we've had a lot of fun, and we hope you have enjoyed it as well. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.